All right, everybody. Today, we are going to be drafting some teams on Draftkings in the $10 Best Ball Championship for $1 million to first. I am in a lobby right now. We are officially past the road to 2K. We are now on the road to 5K. Thank you for all the support. I think I'm in there. But as always, let's do this. All right. What's going on, everybody? I'm a two-time Draftkings Best Ball champion, here to draft some Draftkings teams today. We're in the $10 Millie Maker. I tried to join before the stream to give the true Draftkings experience. These lobbies are known to YOLO it a little bit. We do finally have a draft board. Seems like we got an ETR guy in here. Tried to zoom in for you guys. We pulled the Influencer 101. Everyone's saying in the chat they knew it. Was going to do multiple at the same time because, frankly, I need to do these teams. I've only done 13. I wanted to do 150. So, need to start getting some DK $10 teams down. Last year, I was doing as many as 8 to 10 at the same time. I have a really big monitor, so I was just doing it, and the dopamine withdrawal you experience after doing that is hashtag not great. Chase is my 101, and in really top-heavy contests like this, I don't mind taking him over Jefferson. You know, we're trying to beat a million other entrants, so you got to take some stands somewhere. Let's talk about a little bit of, let me share this better with you guys. Let's talk a little bit about the NFL news today. Friend of the channel, Underdog, has a great, they're great at surmising the news. And so the big one today is Jimmy Graham signs with the Saints. No kidding, that's not the big one. The big one, and that is true though. The big one is Saquon Barkley agrees to a 1-year deal with the Giants worth up to $11 million. So I've not listened to anything on this. I don't really know why Saquon would do this. This allows him to be franchise tagged again next year. It's only a 1-year contract. Maybe he gets more guaranteed money. I thought 11 million was around the franchise tag, so I don't know. Anyways, it is signal that he's probably not holding out. The only one who might is Josh Jacobs. So Saquon, a safe pick in the second round again. On PPR sites, maybe he could be maybe even in the first. Did I say Jimmy Graham? Yeah, JB, that was not a mistype. I put out a tweet that the Saints, jealous of all the talk around Twitter of the Giants slot wide receiver collection, are collecting their own position group tight ends. They now have Foster Moreau, Jimmy Graham, Taysom, him, and Juwan Johnson. So pretty normal draft so far. Saquon you could get, including in 555, so high-stakes drafters as well. You could get at the 2-3 turn. I'm guessing that's no longer going to occur. I'm still not as excited. At the start of the season, I was a Saquon over Bijan guy. Now I'm pretty comfortably a Bijan over Saquon guy. Saquon still has home run hitting ability, but we have to expect he's going to get less targets with, more wide receivers there. Just a more functional offense overall. He is older. So, I don't know. I've not been fading Saquon by any means. So a nice chill morning here. Got some guests on tap. Gonna have Pat on tomorrow. Going to have Ben Gretsch and Sean Siegel on as well, maybe on Friday or next week. And gonna have Davis on Thursday. Gonna be going on Pete Overzet's channel so at the turn here, I think we just grab a share Josh Allen. And let's go Devonta Smith. Really like Smith's matchup against the Cardinals. It could not be him scoring the points, but it is the Cardinals. Smith has high weekly upside. These 34-point games. A couple of those land at the right time. I debated taking Jacobs there, but yeah, on a site like DraftKings, elite quarterbacks contribute less of a percent to your overall roster compared to a half-point PPR site like Underdog. So just mathematically, elite quarterback is worth more on half-point PPR sites due to the skill position players scoring less points because they don't get PPR. They get half-point PPR, and the quarterbacks score the same. However, anytime someone goes on auto draft on DraftKings, they take 4 quarterbacks. So if you get 1 or 2 auto drafters and you get an elite quarterback, sometimes people are like, they start fighting over Kenny Pickett and Mac Jones early too. So you can really press that advantage. A lot of people like to take 3 quarterbacks on DraftKings due to it being 20 rounds. And so by taking an elite, I always go 2, almost always. Sometimes I'll do something weird like a Tannehill and Will Levis combo or a Trey Lance and Brock Purdy combo. But almost always going 2 with elite. The seasons where Josh Allen gets hurt, I lose. That's okay. There is the bonuses, of course, on DraftKings, but that does not make up the PPR advantage of the skill position players. So Josh Allen QB1 season, yeah, I mean, if he played all the games, he probably would have been QB1 like 3 years in a row. I view him equally to Jalen Hurts. Great sign the Bills invested in their O-line. Their O-line does not rank highly from what I've seen offensive line rankers do. But being honest with you, it's very difficult to rank offensive line. Like, how are you going to rank the Bills having a really athletic right tackle who tore his back last year and played through it and is now healthy? Like, yeah, that guy sucked last year, but he could be really good now. How are you going to rank them taking a guard in the second round, first round grade? It's just really hard to rank O-line, I think. I think it's, like we know the Eagles one is good. We know the Browns one is good. But again, 1 or 2 injuries. Remember when the Colts O-line was good? They're no longer good. How is Fields not QB1? Uh-oh, we got a Bears fan in the chat. I mean, come on now, Ben. Fields has a very high weekly ceiling, right? One of the few quarterbacks in the pool who, if you told me he rushed for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in a game, I would believe you. However, you know, doesn't have the pass game weapons, doesn't have the passing ability probably of these guys, doesn't have the track record. So yeah, I like Justin Fields. I take some Fields. You can now get him at the 4-5 turn to go with more. Previously, he was up here at the 3-4 turn. But like laughable to say that he's above Josh Hurts. Does he have it in his range of outcomes? Sure. Of course he could be. Okay, so very normal draft so far. We could go Fields, DJ Moore if we wanted to. We're not going to. We're going to grab Christian Watson. Always sort by ADP is something I recommend you do. And let's get a share of Ken Walker. I think Ken Walker definitely has the ability to disappoint. I have a lot of Charbonnet, so I'm just betting on that, the running back from that offense as well. Ken Walker opened as a 2-3 turn guy. I think he actually opened as a 1-2 turn guy. Fell to the 2-3 turn, once Charbonnet. He slowly slid back. After, Charbonnet or Walker going after Mixon, like, give me Walker all day. After Walker, you're looking at these running backs, which I think there should just be a big gap between. Yes, Walker could totally get a lot of work siphoned off to Charbonnet. That's possible. Maybe the Seahawks have soured on his home run hitting abilities. At the same time, it's okay if he's just a home run hitter. Maybe he gets a little bit less work, but he still gets those 60-yard runs. Let's get to some of these comments. What's up, Mike? Charlie taking shots at the Fields man. What would be your perfect first 3 picks if you had the number 1 pick? Chase Jefferson Cup. But if you check out my Twitter, I put a you see the team Mike built here with Eckler, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams? I did this in a high stakes draft, and even in the 5-5-5s, you get donkeys who just want naked Herbert. Now, I do think people in the 5-5-5s try to snipe me because A, I make content, B, I won the contest last year. So I do think there's some of that going on, but it's just like, all right, man. So yeah, this is not a donkey draft on DraftKings. Sometimes you'll get some crazy, like, I'm sure Lamb sometimes falls to like the middle of the second. That's probably more on weekends, probably more at night, later in the season. As someone who drafts on all the sites, I don't mind saving a lot of my action on DraftKings towards the end of the season. Don't get me wrong. I don't really feel like doing the 150 by the end of it. But if the theory is that more casual drafters show up, you can be in bad rooms. Of course, DraftKings will have the most casual crowd because it's the biggest site. Does Burrow often get back to Jamar teams in the late 4th on DK? I'm not sure in the $10 variation, but in sharper rooms, I would imagine he does. I'm trying to win the contest, not advance, so I would pretty much never go naked Burrow without having Chase or Higgins. Don't get me wrong. If he falls to like the 5th or 6th round, I would. But I just try to backstack with whoever. But in general, I'm not going to do that. A lot of people don't care, though. This guy just vibing with Burrow. He's got a Pacheco guy. When did I first start getting into best ball? Ben Batting asks. It's a lot of alliteration there. Best ball, Ben Batting. This is my fourth year playing best ball. Started in BBM 1 day, so I was not an underdog. I won BBM 2. I've won money every year I've played best ball. My first year, I played the least amount of action. Landscape was wild back then. Gabe Davis goes, that is a bummer. Obviously would have stacked him with Josh Allen. We'll figure it out now. So we have a falling Trevor to stack with absolutely no one. Man. All right, we'll grab Addison. And let's get a share of J.K. Dobbins. We're just going alpha RBs who don't catch passes, home run hitters. Don't really know if he'll hold out at all. I doubt it, though. On the Kadarius Toney train, I was not drafting Toney at all. Don't get me wrong. I really like to bet on the profile of Toney. I can't get that game against the Cowboys when he was on the Giants out of my head from years ago, but just thought it was outrageous. Like, people want to talk about range of outcomes on Toney and be like, oh, if Toney's the wide receiver 1 for the Chiefs full season, he's going to smash. But I didn't think his range of outcomes was even better than Gabe Davis or like Jordan. Like, Jordan Addison is a first-round wide receiver. We know how they can smash. Gabe Davis is probably the locked and loaded 2 on the Bills. We know he can smash. So I will be buying the dip on Toney. I suspect him to drop a full round or 2. I mean, the dude just had surgery. So I don't think, I would not be taking him here in the 7th. But yeah, I just was not buying Toney at all. Literally had no shares. And I was afraid to be underweight, right? But I take stands. I mean, if Mahomes passes for close to 5K yards, who's getting their share besides Kelsey? I mean, the same thing was said last year, and the answer was just Kelsey and McKinnon, right? I also think it's very likely, if Kelsey gets hurt, the Chiefs could disappoint. But I've also been taking darts at guys like Richie James. I was a little bit ahead of that hype. Justin Ross. MBS. There's a lot of guys there. McKinnon. So I don't know. I don't even think the Chiefs are locked to make the playoffs. I think they're a good team. Obviously, Mahomes is very good, but the Chargers were decimated by injuries. If the Broncos are better, they should put up a fight. Don't expect much from the Raiders, but and this is how I've been drafting before we get training camp news. I'm ready to adjust, right? If camp reports are, and Sky Moore, I'm having a hard time clicking Sky Moore too. But I'm very ready to adjust. If reports are already a little positive on Moore, but if reports are like Sky Moore lights up practice, Rasheed Rice is the guy I get a lot too on the Chiefs. Just second round pick, mystery box. Sky Moore sucked so bad last year. So I buy the cheaper guys on the Chiefs, and again, I'm ready to adjust on camp news. Not every bit of camp news we should take and run with, but if it's like day after day, Sky Moore catches 8 balls in practice. Any of the teams in the AFC could miss the playoffs entirely. I need to look at schedules to see what is realistic in that, but like off the top. So we got an auto draft team. Now, he did get Prescott with Lamb, so possibly he queued up some guys, but he could start siphoning up quarterbacks in this range. Off the top of my head, these are the good teams in the AFC that could get playoff spots. Bills, Dolphins, Jets. Bengals, Ravens. Browns. Browns, I don't know. Like maybe they're good, maybe they're not. Right? So that's already 6 teams. Chargers. I don't think the Broncos are good, but maybe. Odds makers are kind of lukewarm on them. Jaguars. And then it's like, I don't know, let's pretend Anthony Richardson is just good and the Colts are winning games, and let's pretend that their schedule is way easier than the Chiefs. Like if the Chiefs have to play like the Eagles, the Bills, the Bengals, and the Colts have to play, the Patriots, the Texans, it's not inconceivable some shenanigans happens. Oh, that's going to be lit, man. Chiefs, Dolphins in Frankfurt, Germany. I might have to go there too. I mean, obviously, I'd rather go for Bills one. All right, so what are we doing here? We're at pick 100. Not a Sutton guy, but we'll grab a share. And Gibson, I have like way more of when he was cheaper. But we're going to get a share of him too. Because he's not like all my Gibson was in like the 130, 140 range. So it's not prohibitive that he's jumped 2 rounds. And I like to trust my first instinct a lot of these situations and not like balk when they get a round or 2 more expensive when the market gets sharper. I debated going quarterback there too and hoping that, so this guy's off auto draft. So that was a problem. Don't be surprised if the Pats mid their way into 9-8 7th seed season. I just don't see that at all. Like I have been vocal that the Pats could have the worst offense in the NFL. Like tell me their wins looking at their schedule. Let's go through it together. Eagles, loss. Dolphins, loss. Jets, loss. Cowboys, loss. Saints, loss. Raiders, maybe they win. I don't know. Bills, loss. Dolphins, loss. Commanders. I'm going with the Commanders. Colts, I'm going with Anthony Richardson. Giants, I'm going with the Giants. Chargers, loss. Steelers, okay, maybe they win this one. Chiefs, loss. Broncos, mid-off. I don't know. Bills, loss. Jets, loss. Like, I don't see many wins for them. Now, last year, I did draft quite a bit of Mac Jones and gang late, just saying, hey, there is a chance that Mac Jones at his ceiling is like a Kirk Cousins. This headline is clickbait, Murph. Yeah, some people get upset that I say that I won a couple best ball contests or that I mention that. But guys, don't hate the player, hate the game. Casual crowd comes out late July and August. I'm trying to grow a channel here. I give you free content, hours a week, right? So if you're going to be one of those people who's like, oh, Liam mentioned he won best ball contests again. That's what people flock to, So hate the human brain. Don't hate me for trying to grow, right? Come on now. Not upset. No, and Tolan's not a rando to me. Tolan went to college with me. Worse offense than last year? Yeah, and here's the thing about the Patriots guys is like people want to be like the OC change. Bill Belichick's still there. He chose those guys. Fucking love the title. Let's go, Carlos. Liam, dude, I saw Team Sun Morning. A dude. Yeah, this comment is not. Sites catch collusion, guys. I wouldn't get excited about it. Stack Allen? Yeah, Finn, we're trying, bro. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Diggs didn't make it back to us. Davis didn't make it back to us. There's some late stack options. I forget I put the scroller up sometimes, so. Who would you rather have in full point PPR, Christian Watson or Khalil Herbert? 1,000,000% Christian Watson. I don't know how to weight the 0.25 per carry. I truly don't, but no question Christian Watson. Yeah, I'm a narrative fader, Doom, so the cover of Madden does not scare me in the least. Okay. So we're on the clock here at pick 120. Kincaid is not going to make it back to us. I think the Liam effect is taking a hold of the market and writing Kincaid's ADP. Chase Smith, Watson, Addison, Sutton, Walker, Dobbins. Yeah, we're just going to grab Penny. And with this group of running backs, sometimes I would even stop at 4. We'll probably add an extra body or two. But pretty balanced start where we got our elite quarterback every week. We got the connection to Kincaid. Our 4 running backs are Walker, Dobbins, Gibson, Penny. 5 wideouts are Chase, Smith, Watson, Addison, and Sutton. Mirage Calvin Ridley is Michael Thomas, who I would have smashed over Sutton. Let's go, Ghost Cards. Don't forget my PGA third. Not enough people give me credit for being a PGA best ball tout. What are your only DK players and only underdog players? Yeah, I don't play it like that anymore. Learned my lesson after getting exposure to Cooper Kupp on Draftkings and not on Underdog one year. So don't get me wrong. I am more likely to take some players on a PPR site versus half point PPR, but a lot of people are not taking the pennies, the Damian Harrises on a PPR site, and I will. I don't care. It's like, I don't need Penny to catch a pass. 100 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. How did you approach PGA draft, Brock? I'd go back and watch yesterday's episode. Not gonna revisit all of that. So we're light on our week 17 stacks right now. We do have the Watson Addison mini. We do have running back wide receiver correlation with Penny and Smith. Bronze medalist of the overlay. Thank you, Goes. Thank you, Goes. Again, guys, appreciate all likes, all subscriptions to the channel. Really helps me. For all the diehards that watches the whole channel, whole episode. When I end the stream, refresh it, drop a comment in the YouTube description or the YouTube comments below. Really helps the algo. You can say anything. Hate your hat, nice hair, get a haircut, nice smile. Good comments, bad comments. We take them all. Also have a link to join my Discord in the YouTube description below, so make sure you join that. Is my Shakir exposure below or above 50%? Below. If I had to pick one, Penny or Harris, I'd pick Penny. We call him Rashad Dollar on this channel. After a man wins you $1 million, you side with him. Fun fact, though, Damian Harris was also on the $1 million team, and contributed. So I like them both. Booth Bay, we got a Maine fan here. Booth Bay is where it's at. I haven't been in a minute, but the bowling alley was electric. Yeah, man, I haven't been since I was a kid. I used to spend some summers out there, though. Is James Cook in line to be the RB1? You know, I have a lot less Cook than Damian Harris, but I do get Cook too because I'm not 100% sure how it would shake out. I did think it was silly. Not a Russ guy, but to stack with Sutton, I think we'll do that and be done at quarterback. And then I think a little Everett bring back. Well, or do we go Dulcich? No, we'll go Dulcich. Screw it. Broncos up. Yeah, so we'll go Russ, Dulcich. I could have gone Everett for the Chargers bring back, but I don't draft a lot of Russ, so to get him 20 picks past ADP in a stack feels nice. So yeah, on the James Cook situation, I don't expect him to like catch a ton of balls this year. I do take him quite a bit with Allen though. His like if he smashes, his smashes are more points than Damian Harris's smashes. Just because like a James Cook smash is like, 5 targets a week, long rushing touchdowns, stuff like that. Scores outside the 10-yard line. A Damian Harris smash is more like closes out games running the ball, gets a, bunch of skill players get tackled at the one. He just mops that up. Josh Allen doesn't rush in as many. So I don't know. I want exposure to both. Do you think the Damian Cook relationship will be like Zeke Pollard? No, I do not. Doing any 5.55s later? Yeah, I was in the lobby. It's hard to get them filled. Would have maybe streamed that instead. So, very flexible team. Done at quarterback with Josh and Russ. This guy is now auto drafting. We'll see if he stays on it or not. But if he does, it's not like this guy's not correlating anyways. Literally 0 stacks. But he could start ripping some quarterbacks and let's see who's waiting on quarterback. Like the Tua drafter could feel some pressure. The Kirk Cousins drafter could. Which is nice because they're right next to me and I don't need quarterback. Oh, whoa. They just got the Bears logo for the Roshan pick. I like that. One quarterback down to the auto drafter. You love to see it. And I'm almost always going 2 with this gang, but, like, let's say Jordan Love fell 2 rounds. I would take him to complete a game stack on DK. Almost 100 of you here for this lovely DraftKings draft. Shout out to you guys. Kind of like this guy's name, October. So would assume the cup drafter takes Stafford or is wanting to, or is the Higbee drafter going to snipe him? If I'm the Pat Mahomes drafter there, I take Stafford and put a lot of pressure on the Tua guy. But he was nice. He gave them to him. Or he didn't realize what he could do. Probably way more likely. No, we do not want to sort by whatever the hell that was. Okay, let's get Marvin Mims to add to this Broncos stack. And I don't love passing up these RBs, but we'll get Knox too. 2 stack partners on the turn. Feels good. I don't always go Kincaid and Knox, but think it's a fine stack, especially when I miss out on Davis and Diggs. Again, adding to the Broncos stack feels good after being light on them. You know, if I'm wrong, I want to be big wrong where the offense is really good. We'll see if any of the running backs I like make it back to me, but I am strong at running backs. Not like I need them. Both are happening this year, Brock. You taking any D-Hop or passing now? His team sucks. I was not taking him before. I will start taking him if he gets cheaper. I still get Treylon Burks. You know, Hopkins on a half-point PPR site. How many touchdowns is he going to score? But I'll get some shares. I'm okay being a little underweight, though. I mean, he was good when Kyler was healthy. I think it's possible Hopkins could just be there to help develop Will Levis. You know, hard to assess your quarterback if you don't have any pass-catching talent. So my read is not that it's a great sign for Tannehill as others. The Titans schedule also is really tough before the bye. I could see them starting 1-6, which maybe they just are forced to bench Tannehill then. And people want to overstate how much a coach can do. Mike Vrabel, great motivator of men. But he doesn't suit up on Sundays. So, yeah, just going to finish out with running backs and wideouts. Don't really feel compelled to. My wide receiver group's probably better than my running back group. Yeah, it is. You know, these are thinner bets. So we'll add more running backs, but we'll get some wideouts too. Is Lenny getting picked up soon? You know, I put this, I just tweeted something out where there was a Patriots beat reporter saying that the Patriots plan is to see how Pierre Strong and Kevin Harris do in camp and games before they decide if they're signing a free agent. If that's how little teams are viewing Fournette, Dalvin Cook, Zeke, Kareem Hunt. That's not a great sign for the free agents, right? Where they're willing to just and I would do the same thing. If I'm the Jets, I'm seeing what Izzy Abanikanda can do before I sign Dalvin Cook. I got a lot of Zay Flowers. Okay. All right. We'll grab Shakir. Got to get some stacks. And we'll go Chase Brown. I don't take Mixon, so. Shakir is kind of insurance on Kincaid too. It's like if Kincaid is playing slot, Shakir probably plays it less. I think it could just be game plan specific where it's like sometimes it's Kincaid, sometimes it's Shakir. I personally like all the Ravens wideouts. So yes, I get Flowers, but I also get Bateman and OBJ. LFG Tyler. Still don't get how Ty Chandler's so cheap on here. Yeah, I mean, he's either a great value or he gets Dwayne McBrided. A lot of these running backs being drafted a lot of these running backs being drafted now are going to move up and down draft boards as we get clarity on who the RB2 is. Chase Brown could be cut, or he could be the RB2 or RB1, right? Ty Chandler could get cut, or Dwayne McBride is the RB2, or Nagwanu is. Right? Zamir White is either the RB2, maybe RB1 if Jacobs holds out, or they sign Fournette and Cook. We just don't know how it's going to play out. I'm excited about the Ravens, so maybe they're fairly priced. Maybe they're discounted. So I have a 2-5-7-3, Jamar Chase and Josh Allen and Devonta Smith, Christian Watson, Ken Walker and Jordan Addison, J.K. Dobbins, Cortland Sutton, Antonio Gibson, Dalton Kincaid, Rashad Penny, Russ Wilson, Greg Dulcich, Marvin Mims, Dawson Knox, Khalil Shakir, and Chase Brown. Yeah, Ravens versus Miami is my 101 of Week 17 games if a game is going to go back and forth. Yeah, but Doom, what you're saying is literally true about half of the running backs going this range. Chandler could have a standalone role even with Madison. Way better pass catching skill set than McBride. Maybe Chase Brown has a standalone role with Mixon. Right? Maybe CPAT does. Maybe Deuce Vaughn has a standalone role. Maybe Eric Gray does. Maybe Matt Breida does. Maybe Abanikanda does. Maybe Malik Davis does. Maybe Josh Kelly does. Maybe Zach Evans does. Maybe Deion Jackson does. Maybe Chris Evans does. So we could go Josh Palmer for the gross stack. We're going to grab a share of Deontay Hardy. And then we're going to handcuff the running back situation for the Bengals with Travion Williams. So if the Bengals do not sign a free agent, and it's not Chris Evans, which just makes it tough. Because if it's Chris Evans, it's like, fuck me. But Brown or Williams, I don't care. If I'm getting the Bengals RB2 for 2 draft picks, I like it. Yeah, there is a lot of Travion Williams love out there. I mean, Chase Brown is just the dude I was drafting back in the big board days due to his raw athletic profile, and then he landed in a great spot. So I do realize he could be, like Hassan Haskins, a guy we draft and doesn't see the field. But Mixon is way more of an obstacle than Madison, let's be honest. Yeah, I mean, let's also be honest. Mixon could be cut and out of the NFL once his legal situation. Just because his contract was restructured does not mean he's a guarantee to stay on the team. Most likely he is, but it's not a great sign for your NFL future when before NFL playoff games, you're allegedly getting a road rage incidents with women and then pointing a gun at the woman and telling them, I should kill you right now. Being a fucking loser. So, fuck Joe Mixon. Yeah, and Joe Mixon sucks. Random question. How soon do you take quarterback in 2 quarterback or super flex draft? There's no right answer, MJK. Sometimes I'll load up on skill position combos, Chase Jefferson Cup, and then figure out quarterback later. Sometimes I'll start with 2 quarterbacks. You do different things. Yeah, and it's not a great sign for Joe Mixon that they are playing P. Ryan over him in playoff games, right? Maybe he was banged up. Maybe he comes back and smashes. Something I can live with. I wasn't drafting Joe Mixon when he was cheap. I'm sure as hell not drafting him when he's expensive. And I do not like Joe Mixon's matchup for Week 17. It's not like he's playing a bad team. He's playing the Chiefs. So yes, the Bengals could move the ball and Mixon plunges in some 1-yard touchdowns, but that could also not happen. I mean, it's always a mystery box of who the wide receivers are that show up here on DraftKings by ADP. Like Charleston Rambo, is he getting camp reports or something? Is like DraftKings just ultra sharp? Who is this dude? Charleston Ram. I mean, fucking electric name. Am I wrong? Ooh, I'll pull this up in a second here. We're gonna grab Sherfield, and basically this is the weird Bills players contribute in playoff weeks and or Davis or Diggs gets hurt. If Davis gets hurt, probably Justin Shorter might get a shot, but I think I could see Hardy and Sherfield working in. So weird Josh Allen stacks, low owned. It is a Millie Maker field, fine to do. And I truly don't know who the wide receiver 3 will be for the Bills. Shakir's definitely got a lead on the job, but it would not shock me if Hardy or Sherfield. All right, guys, you ready? Usurp him. This is Charleston Rambo from the Eagles fan site. The Eagles' secret XFL weapon. Ooh, XFL. Okay, admittedly, probably not so secret after this column. Tricky Philadelphia sports bloggers. Anyway, back to the Eagles' bad opening. No shot at the writer, but come on now. Okay, that's some fluff. It has a secret weapon. It's its speed. Okay, fast guy. Oh, did they play together in Oklahoma? Oh, little Rambo Hertz connection back in college. Okay. So we'll see how that sorts out. I mean, the problem with the Eagles is Quez Watkins is still there, and who also is a fast guy, and also they added Zacchaeus. So XFL legend. I mean, yeah, we gotta look up what that means. Charleston Rambo XFL stats. Like what is a XFL legend? Rambo secured 2 of 3 targets for 16 yards in the Guardians. That 2 of 3 targets for 16 yards, legend. Okay, 4-game stretch in weeks 4 through 7, where he posted 16 catches, so 4 catches a game, 300 yards, and 2 touchdowns. On the season, 31 catches, 400 yards, 3 touchdowns. So, okay. No, you should not draft this guy. Think he's drafted on name alone, to be honest, who doesn't take Rambo. I mean, you're so right. Like that inside the mind of a DraftKings drafter, 100%. When you're looking at the end of the draft, who are you taking? Tank Dell or Rambo? Rambo. How many Bills on this team? 13? Yeah, I mean, if I had Mahomes, maybe this team instead is like Justin Ross, Richie James. Like, I think it's viable to do with the elite quarterbacks. And teams who like the Seahawks are not a team who usually lets their like wide receiver 4 see a ton of snaps. The Bills, though, does. So, Sherfield, Hardy, Shakir, Kincaid, and Knox. So basically, it's just like anyone but Davis and Diggs. Or Davis and Diggs like have a fine week, but not a great week. Because, like a Hardy, if Hardy can get like 5 catches, including one 60-yard touchdown in there, gets the 100-yard bonus. That's a 20-point week other people don't have. And you're trying to beat out, again, like the structure for this $10 Millie Maker is insane. So making some thin bets makes sense. The Bills wideouts is another room where I'm waiting on training camp because like I was a Hardy guy, but then Sherfield had great spring reports. So we'll see how it carries over. But yeah, I like how this team turned out. All right, guys, that's what I got for today. I need to get to work, get some food here. We'll be back tomorrow probably. Have some guest streams lined up. When I end the broadcast, drop a comment in the YouTube below. Really helps me out. Have a great day, guys.